Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another knife review for you today. And today I have something very, very special I'm going to show you. But before I do, I would just like to give a quick shout out to some wonderful people that helped me today. They are over at the Epicurean Edge. Okay, these guys were absolutely incredible people, and they are absolutely essential to today's video. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to the Epicurean Edge for helping me out with my next purchase on my way to knife collecting. They are, and this plug is really for everybody in Washington. I live in Tacoma, Washington. This is their address. They have their shop over there in Kirkland, Washington. And a little bit of word, a little explanation on this place. It's a real tiny store. But the guy's got tons and tons of customs, tons and tons of zero tolerance knives. You name it, he's got it. Funny thing about this, and I wanted to, if I could give a little quick shout out to the Epicurean Edge. I had a little thing where I had asked, I asked Jeff, I believe that was the gentleman that helped me, if he had any cases for, knife collectors. And he said, yeah, I've got quite a few. And then he left the store. He left the store, and I don't know where the guy went. I just know he disappeared. And then he came back with a couple of cases, which makes me understand that the Epicurean Edge is probably maybe only one of 3 stores. If the Epicurean Edge wants to give a shout out to me, please correct me. But I'm guessing, yeah, they have, like, the store that I was in was only one of 3. I was just in a hurry to, get my purchase and leave. So I'm kind of sorry I didn't visit. If there are other stores, I will visit them the next time. So anyway, quick shout out to Musi Shamundi and Jeffrey Swanson, the 2 people that helped me. I hope they're the 2 people that helped me. I got their cards right here. So anyway, on with my presentation. Hope you guys are ready. I think you can tell by the rag what I'm going to be presenting to you, and here it is. So, this is the Chris Reeve Sebenza 21. This is the large Chris Reeve Sebenza 21. I'm going to go ahead and get right into it. The knife is of a different class. That's all I can say. The knife that I got is the large Sebenza 21 Bog Oak version, and the knife is incredibly special. It's so special, let me show you the packaging that it comes in. So you get this box, okay, this is Chris Reeve knives on it. There's the box right there. Inside the box is some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen on a knife. I mean, I was blown away. So there's the box. Inside the box, it's got this little folder with all this paraphernalia in it, and even the paraphernalia is just as cool as the knife. So you get what's called, one of the most important pieces is the guarantee card. So there it is, the guarantee card for the Chris Reeve knife. This lets you know that you are getting the finest knife ever. And it is free of defects, so on and so forth. So this is their guarantee card. Basically what this is this is actually a birth card. They actually give you the date that the knife was born, which I think is kind of cool. In this case, it's August 23rd, 2016. And I was actually born August 13th, so, 10 days before. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. So there's a card. You get a registration card with that. Basically, you take this and you mail it in, and I'm pretty sure you can do this process online, but they give you the registration card with it. Yeah, in fact, it says it can also be submitted at crkinfo, chrisreeve.com. I have yet to do that. I'll probably go ahead and do that. You get some information on the Sebenza 21, and they tell you which knife you got. And they also give you instructions on how to care for the piece, which is kind of neat. You get a sticker, which I kind of think is kind of cool. And of course the folder itself is kind of cool. It's got the Chris Reeve logo on there as well. So that's all so you get to look forward to all this excitement building up before you even like open the knife. You get all this cool stuff inside of it, and who wouldn't want that? It's like a little birthday present. You also get a Torx to adjust the knife if you wish. I don't even touch mine. And a little, looks like a little bit of lube for you to lube your knife if you need to. So that's kind of cool. And of course, it comes with a pouch. Had to mention that. Think twice, cut once. Really awesome. The pouch is all leather. It's brown, which is cool, but I would have preferred black, but I'm not going to complain. So there you have it. All the fun stuff that comes with the Chris Reeve knife before you even open the guy. So let's go ahead and get right into it. First, let's do some size comparisons. And then I'll get into the stats. So here it is up against the ZT-0609. I did a video on this about 3 months ago. It's got like 800 hits on it already. I was so surprised. But then again, I was one of the first few people that actually did a video on it. I think I was probably one of 3 people that actually did a video on this knife. So there you go, the ZT-0609. And then one of the knives that it's constantly being compared to, the Spyderco Swish Bowie, and I am going to do a video comparing this knife to this knife. I'm going to talk about the comparisons between these two and whether or not they even should be compared to each other. So there you go. One of my favorite knives that's probably similar in size, the Zero Tolerance 0562. And so you can really see how big the knife is. How about the Spyderco Chubby right next to it? So it's a really large knife. It's even bigger than the Zero Tolerance 0562. The Chris Reeve Sebenza 21 is the large version is actually 3.6 inches in blade length. And since I'm doing that already, let's go ahead and get right into the stats and into the next topic that I want to talk about regarding the Chris Reeve knife. When you get a Chris Reeve knife, you get one of these. This is a certificate of authenticity. This lets you know this is the real thing. Now, I'm going to move my knife out of the way, I'll bring it right back. If Epicurean Edge is watching, please correct me if I get this wrong, okay? This is just to my knowledge, and I'm just guessing, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. When you get a Chris Reeve knife from the website, you actually get one of these. Probably says Chris Reeve on top. Mine says bladegallery.com. I need to explain something. The certificate of authenticity here, you can only get the certificate of authenticity from 2 places, okay? Either the Chris Reeve website or an actual authorized Chris Reeve dealer, which is what bladegallery.com is. Here in Washington, there are only 3 stores that you can buy that are authorized, that Chris Reeve says, okay, these guys actually deal with me. That's what the certificate says. These guys actually deal with me, and I approve of these guys selling my knife in their store. That's basically what we're saying here. But when you get it from the Chris Reeve website, it'll say Chris Reeve on top. So when you go to the Chris Reeve website, you're going to click on a little link that says authorized dealer. When you click on that, you get a bunch of states that pop up. And then in each of those states, there's an actual authorized dealer for your state. Who knows how many of them there might be. In Washington, I checked the website. In Washington, I believe there's only 3 of them. And this is the closest one to me, and I got lucky because these guys got everything. So anyway, what's kind of nice about the certificate of authenticity is they take a look. They've actually got some stats here for you. And I'm going to read them off to you. So basically it tells you that the maker is Chris Reeve. The blade length is 3.63 inches. The cutting length is 3.5. The total length of the knife is 8.34 inches. And there's some other stats there, but I didn't want to get into it. The knife is all titanium. I'm going to bring it right back out now, because this is actually the star of the show, right? So the knife is all titanium. And I got the Bog Oak Inlay. I was originally going to get the Macassar. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I was originally going to get the Macassar Inlay, but I believe I asked Musi Shmundo for the for the ebony macassar, and I also took a look at the bog oak. I chose the bog oak because it looked darker. I wanted a black look to the inlay, so I chose the bog oak over the ebony macassar, which is kind of strange because ebony means black. But you know, when I saw the knife, it looked a lot lighter in color than this, so I chose the bog oak. So let's go ahead and get right into the knife. I mean, you can look at the quality of the knife. It's absolutely beautiful. And it looks so totally different than anything you've ever seen. The lines on the knife are completely straight all the way through. There's no interruption in your eyes. To your eyes where you know, on some knives there's something that sticks out or juts out or interrupts your focus when you're looking at the knife. This is just a straight, streamlined look on the piece. Really nice looking. It's all titanium, and this knife, guys, I'm telling you, it locks up like a bank vault. I've never seen a knife that locks up like that. The lockup on it looks like it's at about 85 to almost 90%, so it's got a really good lock on it, good lockup on there. One of the most beautiful things I love about this knife, look at that. It is completely total open construction, completely open construction. Usually on knives, you'll see maybe one or two standoffs in the middle. Here, we are looking at just one. One here, and that's it. I mean, there's nothing else. And what's cool is that this one, I don't know if you can tell from the lighting, but this one here is gold in color. So it looks really, really just awesome looking. Other details that you won't see on other knives. The top of the knife is crowned from the top all the way over here in case when you're using it you need to push down on something. It won't hurt you. So it's really just the detail on it. That's actually a very, very difficult and hard machining process to go through to round it out like that. It's just amazing. It's got one thumb lug. You can order these with double thumb lugs. But there's a little something most of you guys need to know. When you buy a Chris Reeve knife, he's letting you know this is a special knife. It needs to be treated specially. It needs to be, you know, treated much more with, not necessarily delicacy, but he's trying to let you know that this is the Rolls Royce of knives, basically. That's what he's telling you. So he kind of frowns on knife flicking. However, you can flick out this knife. Well, mine's kind of tight because it's brand new. But you can flick these knives out. They just don't approve of you doing it. And it's actually in their warranty, guys. If you buy a Chris Reeve knife and the knife is actually broken from over flicking it, you just ding the warranty on that. So I just want to give you a warning on that. He does not allow knife flicking on a piece. But you can do it. This knife, as far as smoothness, and also keep in mind it runs on washers. It does not run on a KVT ball bearing system. It runs on washers, as you can see. There's no ball bearings in there. It's a very smooth knife. It really is. But it's a different kind of smoothness. It's not, you know, there you go. I can flick it out. It's not the kind of smoothness that you would think of if you think of a regular, I guess I'm going to say regular washer knife or a KVT ball bearing system knife. It's just a different animal. I don't know how to explain it. You'd actually have to get your hands on one and feel it in order to know. The knife is always perfectly centered, as you can see. It's not even a hair off. It's just perfect. What I love about the knife also is the lanyard on it. I'm not a lanyard fan. But this actually comes with a lanyard, and here's what's interesting is he actually has a special screw built in just for the lanyard. So again, he's letting you know, this is my knife. I make this knife. I like my knife to have a lanyard on it. A lanyard to me as a maker is what he's saying is so special that I'm going to go ahead and put a special screw on there. Mine's kind of gold in color. I don't know if they're all like that for all of them, but mine's a gold in color. And also, again, the standoff is gold, if I didn't mention that. The other standoff over here is it's silver, so that's kind of cool. All the screws on this knife are smooth. Nothing on here is rough or hard. They're just all perfectly well rounded, very well rounded. Yeah, again, I forgot to mention that the thumb stud is a dome structure, probably made that way so that you won't flick the knife. Not that it's uncomfortable or that uncomfortable, but if you can see, the thumb stud was built to not be to not be flicked out. He's letting you know if you want to try and flick it, you can, but I'm going to make it a little difficult for you. At least that's what I think. There's the Chris Reeve logo on there, right on top. Now, there's two versions of this knife. There's the micarta inlay one, where they take the bog oak inlay and they just lay it right on top of the knife itself, which is this sandy structure right here. You can see this, there's a little sandy, it's all sandy over here, that sandy structure. They actually take the bog oak inlay and they lay it on top of that. But on my knife, it's a little shiny. I'm thinking they put a little coat of, I'm guessing, titanium over it, and then they put the inlay on top of that, I'm guessing. And the inlay is on both sides, one here on this side, and then there's two over here. Just absolutely beautiful. The relief cut on this knife is on the inside, which I find kind of odd, because on most high quality knives, the relief cut's actually on the outside to give you a direct force vector when you hold it, to guarantee that the knife won't close up on you. But the knife is constructed so well, I don't think it makes a difference at this point. It's just amazing, absolutely incredible. Yeah, so you can't always flick it out. It's going to take some time. Like I said, mine's brand new, and it's still tight, but it'll work in on there. I've actually already used the knife to open up a box. It's fantastic. So, I mean, I'm sure many of you guys that own this knife, or you're going to own several versions of this knife, probably will treat it like a safe clean. I'm not. I'm actually going to use the knife. So, the Chris Reeve factory, I forgot to mention, is actually in Idaho. So it's made in the USA. As you can see, it's made in Idaho. So there you go. And Chris Reeve is from South Africa, I think. I'm guessing. I don't know. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember. But yeah. And he has this factory in Boise, Idaho, which is kind of sad because I used to live in Boise, Idaho, and I never knew Chris Reeve even existed at that time. So it's kind of a little weird. I got the drop point blade because it's the only blade shape I really like. I might consider possibly a sheep's foot, but yeah, I like the drop point blade. The ergos on this knife are incredible. It feels fantastic in my hand. There are no hot spots, obviously, not even the clip. I don't even feel the clip even there at all. It's just fantastic. The jimping is not sharp at all. It's very comfortable jimping on there. There's just nothing on this knife that I don't like. It's just absolutely gorgeous. You can tell by the way the knife, just by looking at the knife, there's a lot of thought process that went into this. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it, but a Chris Reeve knife is not a custom. Okay, it's not a custom knife. It's a production knife, but it's a well-made production knife. I think you need to understand that as well. So it's sort of the next step in your knife collecting. Basically, if you've gone into maybe buying Spyderco's and zero tolerance knives, and you're wondering to yourself, well, where am I supposed to go now? I think I've collected my fill of Spyderco and zero tolerance. Where do I go next? Well, you're probably going to go for a custom, but if you're not ready for a custom, Chris Reeve would actually be the next step in your knife collecting. Again, which just makes it interesting because this guy, Chris Reeve, and zero tolerance, they're both production knives, and you can say, yes, that the quality is there for both pieces. However, what separates Chris Reeve from zero tolerance is that zero tolerance, they put out production knives with really great detail, right? Really great detail on all their knives. The fit, the finish, the quality, it's all there. The difference between a zero tolerance knife and a Spyderco knife and a Chris Reeve knife is that Chris Reeve doesn't stop on the quality. He doesn't stop. I'm not saying that zero tolerance stops, but, Chris Reeve puts that little extra, attention into the knife, letting you know that you're paying this kind of money for a knife experience, and I want to make sure that I deliver it to you. That's what Chris Reeve says. And in doing that, Chris Reeve becomes his own brand. So you've got Zero Tolerance and Spyderco and Chris Reeve. But the difference is Chris Reeve is a one-man show. He's a one-man show. And these guys, you know, which is one of the main reasons why Chris Reeve doesn't have new models out every year, like Zero Tolerance and Spyderco. He just doesn't. So basically what he does with his knives is he concentrates all of the detail on the line of knives that he has right now. That's basically what the guy does. And because he does that, he becomes a big success in his own right, separating himself from Zero Tolerance and Spyderco, but at the same time realizing that he's also with these guys, which is kind of genius because he's with these guys, but he's his own island. I think that's the best way to describe it. He is with Zero Tolerance, Spyderco, and Benchmade, but the man is his own island, and you got to respect the guy when he's able to market himself as, I have the same quality as these guys, right? But I do it a little bit differently than them. I think that's probably the best way to describe it, is I put in the same kind of quality as guys, but I put in my own idea of what I feel that quality should be. So, anyway, there you have it. The Chris Reeve Sebenza 21 with Bog Oak. And this is Omar, the Knife Shark guy, signing off with another knife review for you. And I am hoping that you'll find happiness in your next piece of sharp art. This is Omar, the Knife Shark guy, signing off. Happy knife hunting, guys. Hope you'll find one of these in your future. And I gotta tell you, if you're anything like me, this will be in your future. Thanks so much and have a good day.